An addiction is not just a bad habit, it is an invisible chain that traps your mind and steals your life. In today's story, you will discover how to break free from any addiction that silently controls you. Stay until the end, because after hearing this, you will never see your habits or yourself the same way again. And now, our story is about to begin. In the city of Jardim Sol lived Ricardo, a 21-year-old young man, an only child, and the owner of a brilliant mind for creating things. Since he was little, he amazed everyone with his genius inventions. His biggest dream was to become an engineer and change the world. And his parents, even with all their difficulties, did the impossible to help him, saving every penny so he could study at one of the best prep courses in the city. They believed in their son's potential. Ricardo also said he believed, but the truth was different. Trapped in a silent cycle, Ricardo woke up late, spent hours scrolling through Instagram, skipped the prep course to wander with friends, and at night drowned himself in adult content, an addiction that drained his energy, his strength, and his dreams. Each small habit seemed harmless, but together they formed an invisible chain that kept him stuck. He had been in the same place for 4 years. His parents, without knowing, kept sacrificing themselves. They kept believing. What they didn't know was that Ricardo's greatest enemy wasn't out there. It was inside him. It was just another Wednesday. Ricardo, standing on the corner with a lost look, should have been on his way to the prep course, but he was waiting for his friends to skip another day. Until, in the middle of the street's movement, a familiar voice called his name. It was Cecilia, a childhood friend and former classmate, for Ricardo, almost a painful mirror of what he could have been. Coming from an even humbler family, Cecilia worked part-time and even so had managed to get into medical school. She carried a sparkle in her eyes, the kind of sparkle Ricardo hadn't seen in himself for a long time. Without thinking much, they decided to sit at a nearby cafe. Between forced laughs and memories of the past, Cecilia said in a firm tone, "I bet you were waiting for the guys to skip another day of prep course, right, Ricardo?" Cecilia took a deep breath and went straight to the point. "Until when, Ricardo? Until when are you going to hide from who you were born to be? Your parents have been killing themselves for years to give you a chance, and you keep stuck in a cycle that only pulls you away from what you say you want. I can say this because I've been exactly there. You remember, in the first year of prep course, I was your partner. I used to drink, smoke, skip classes, until my older sister realized I was losing myself and had a conversation with me that changed everything. I used to say I wanted to study medicine, but deep down, I thought it was impossible. So I started saying I would go for nursing because it seemed easier. And my sister told me something I never forgot. The right decision doesn't come from what seems possible. It comes from what we truly desire." Cecilia took a deep breath and concluded, "Everything starts with a decision. It's not about wanting more or less. It's not about trying what seems easier. It's about deciding truly for what your heart desires, even if it seems impossible, and placing that inside you with so much strength that no excuse becomes bigger." Do you know why it feels so hard to change, Ricardo? Because changing, for real, requires becoming a new person. Only a new person can achieve different results. And transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the details. One step, one habit, one choice at a time. Cecilia continued, "We are programmed without realizing it. The subconscious records everything. If you wake up late, skip classes, spend hours scrolling through Instagram, that's what you're teaching it. Procrastination, escape, addiction. And the subconscious doesn't judge. It doesn't say, this is good or this is bad. It just learns and repeats what you feed it. And that's why changing feels so hard, because to change what was recorded, We need to reprogram it. We need to teach it again. And for that, you have to decide firmly, desire truly, and change step by step, day by day. And do you know how I did it? She asked. I started with the decision, then I changed small habits. It wasn't fast, it wasn't easy, but it was possible. She paused, then continued. And there was one thing that kept me strong on the days it felt impossible. Visualization. Ricardo raised his eyes, curious. Cecilia then explained calmly, every day, even tired, even discouraged, I would close my eyes and see myself wearing the white coat, walking into the university. I felt it as if it were already real. I would give thanks as if I had already achieved it. When fear hit, when I thought I wouldn't make it, I would go back to that image, because the subconscious needs repetition and feeling to learn a new reality. She smiled. It's not about fooling yourself. It's about teaching your mind to believe. It's about waking up a little earlier today, going to the prep course today, choosing better today. It's about each addiction abandoned becoming a new page in your story. And about understanding that what's past has passed. You can't change yesterday, but you can choose today to build the tomorrow you deserve. Ricardo felt his eyes sting. It was as if, for the first time, someone had put into words what he had always felt, but never knew how to change. And maybe at that moment, without big speeches, without big promises, he had made deep inside the most important decision of his life. That same night, Ricardo rethought his entire life. He saw his parents' sacrifice, his own stagnation, and understood that he needed to change. It wouldn't be radical. He knew that. There was too much out of place. So he started small. He decided to wake up 1 hour earlier and promised himself he would never miss prep classes again. In the beginning, everything was difficult. It was like fighting against himself every day. But he didn't give up. Step by step, with patience and truth, he started becoming a new person. 8 months later, Ricardo was running every morning, studying 2 hours before lunch, helping at home, and attending the prep course with pride. Adult content, abandoned. Instagram, less than 1 hour a day. At night, another 2 hours of study. And the sacred practice. Every day, before sleeping and as soon as he woke up, he visualized himself hugging his parents and saying, I did it. Today, 8 years later, Ricardo is one of the most renowned engineers in the region. He retired, his parents. He changed the lives of everyone who believed in him. And even now, looking at everything he has built, he still gets emotional remembering exactly the day he decided to be different. Because in the end, that was what changed everything. One single decision, and the courage to never abandon himself. Again, you who listened to this story until now, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your past, nor what your addictions are today. There is always time to become a new person. In your time, one step at a time, just like Ricardo did. The life you dream of can still be built, as long as you decide not to abandon yourself anymore. And if this story touched your heart, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, you will always find stories that warm your soul and awaken truths that were asleep inside you. See you in the next video.